The Binance CEO CZ has pled guilty to a lack of internal controls, and Binance has been fined US $4.3 billion in penalties. This is the largest penalty of its kind in US history. Unlike the FTX saga and Sam Bankman-Fried, there was no talk of commingling of funds, no talk of funds being pulled out for personal gain. Instead, it was all about lax or non-existent anti-money laundering and customer identification policies. This probe has been going on for so many years. The key to note is that $4.3 billion payoff resolves all criminal wrongdoing from Binance. CZ got hit with a $50 million fine and had to step down as the head of the company. This is part of the plea deal with the US Justice Department. Richard Teng, Binance's head of regional markets for outside the US, has been named the CEO. Richard Teng has a long history in compliance. As CZ stated, Richard was the CEO of the Financial Services Regulatory Authority at Abu Dhabi Global Market, ADGM, the Chief Regulatory Officer of the Singapore Exchange, SGX, and the Director of Corporate Finance in the Monetary Authority of Singapore, the MAS. That $4.3 billion payoff to the Treasury Department and the CFTC ends years-long investigations into Binance. This is incredibly good news for the crypto industry. Inside the crypto industry, this action is widely regarded to spur on the approval of ETFs under the jurisdiction of the Securities Exchange Commission. The approval of Bitcoin ETFs would see massive inflows to the crypto industry, especially in Bitcoin, but of course all the other alts as well. Financial institutions always buy at a discount and sell at a premium. The crypto market globally is becoming increasingly US owned because of the incredible influence of the US politicians. Many people not involved directly with crypto will be panicking right now. They'll think another FTX-style situation is going to unfold. That was a very different situation. FTX was out-and-out fraud. Binance is lack of internal controls. And the thing to remember, back when the crypto industry first started operating, there were no controls. And to this day, the law is very, very unclear. Things are definitely going to get wild. The markets, you can expect, will be volatile. Many people will be taking their funds off Binance. One thing to bear in mind, the US authorities did not allege that Binance misappropriated any user funds, as was the case with FTX. And they also did not allege that Binance engaged in any market manipulation. Again, FTX did. One specific problem with the crypto industry, there are not a lot of alternatives for Binance. Trading fees are insane on other platforms, and the functionality of some platforms is like looking at a car that's put together like a go-kart. The reason that Binance became number one was because it offered so much incredible value at such a cheap price. And it's good to note that many local exchanges use Binance to complete their trades, so this is something that you need to be aware of as well. When we look at how the crypto market has been behaving, Binance Coin came down nearly 19%, but has so far retraced it's down a little over 14% at the current time from its high. When markets get turbulent, it's critically important to know your structural levels. Here we see BNB marked up with the CTKS method for nearly 2,300 days of price action. What we see here is that Binance Coin, when it sold off, it passed through one structural safety net, got caught by a second, rebounded into the first one, couldn't get above. If it can't go above, it's going below to the next one. If it can't get above, it's going below to the next one. These structural levels have been inside the market for the past month approximately. Objective dynamic market structure means that these structural levels change each and every month. We're currently seeing a bit of negative price momentum. Binance Coin must get above this 238 mark, preferably this 241, to repair its own damage. If not, it's in a downtrend. And it continues to be so until it can get above higher previous resistance levels. One thing to keep in mind, the US market has not opened. A lot of people will freak out when they wake up. If you look at naked price action, it's often really difficult to tell where a particular crypto is going. For example, BNB, you just looked at it. You saw it pass through 2 structural levels, got rebounded by a 3rd one, and it's up testing currently. This is really important to understand. When you know where the structure is, you know what price can be doing. This is vitally important to understand. When you know this, you'll look at a price chart and say, it's all structure. If I understand the structure, I know where price is going. The other thing to note with Bitcoin has come into some very, very strong structural support. Let's have a look at it. How do I know that there's strong structural support underneath this particular level? That's a very good question. What I do is pop on the monthly service indicator, and you can see there is so much structural support underneath Bitcoin's price. When we first came into this area, it just rebounded price by over 5%. Things are a little bit different now. We've got the Kraken lawsuit that the SEC launched the day before yesterday, and then Binance today with its $4+ billion fine, and the change in leadership at Binance.com. People will panic on news like this. We could expect a deep value retracement at least into this structural support area. Of course, just note what price is doing. Price has come down to this structural support and rebounded. This is exactly what we'd anticipated to do, but it's been very strong. Look at the last time it came down. It did a reflection right here, but then it went down more. One of the things is, as different countries just come awake and figure out this Binance news, there's going to be a degree of panic inside the market. People will sell. And that is completely justified because people have been burned by FTX and so many different scandals in the crypto industry. People definitely should guard their positions. They should minimize their risk as much as possible. But one thing to always bear in mind, trust the lines of structure, because these structural lines are very, very powerful. If they weren't powerful, we would have seen a slice through. We haven't seen that at all. In fact, the narrative that's going around right at the moment is that the big institutions want cheaper crypto, because with the launch of all those ETFs, they want a discount, they want a bargain, and this is really good timing. CTKS structure, or total market structure, is one of the most important things that you will ever look at. And if you want to get the indicators that I use, just pop across to ctksmethod.org. You'll find that the indicators can be used to forward project where price could go. Let's just pop the indicator on and see what's cooking. If the price doesn't go below, it's going to the next level. If it gets above, it's going to the one above. But if it comes back, these kinds of actions are all caught by these lines. These lines have been drawn up from total crypto market caps history, about 4,000 days worth. And you can see how these lines interact. They can predict where price is going. This is why the CTKS method is the world's most powerful smart money buy and sell level detection system. You can use it to forward project where price can go. You analyze price action always the same way, no matter what you're looking at. Here we're looking at total crypto market cap. This is the total market capitalization of the crypto market. You can see we lost this structural support level here. Where did we come down to? The next structural support. If it's not going to continue below, where's it going? You got it to the next structural resistance level above. It comes back like this. If it doesn't bounce, it's going to the one below. But if it gets above and turns that one to support, where's it going? Back here. It's a very, very simple system. It eliminates so much guesswork, and you can see it's always working. These particular lines are drawn up with a knowledge of all price history. Sometimes you'll see people do something like this. They'll just say, oh, this is price. this is a support level and that's a resistance level, and this particular price action could be just in here. You must look at all of price action, not just a little piece of it. That's precisely why the CTKS method is so powerful. One thing to always bear in mind, when you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin will lead the direction of the crypto market. And these are the Tier 1, Tier 2 and Tier 3 charts from inside the service. You can see that they're all following each other. This is a very important aspect and a very important rule of the crypto market. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. If you expect your alts to go up when Bitcoin is crushing down, that's not such a good assumption. Sometimes we get inverters, but those inverters get caught by Bitcoin's gravity eventually. Also, just keep in mind that the SEC charged Kraken for operating as an unregistered securities exchange, broker, dealer and clearing agency just a couple of days ago. They named ADA and Solana as securities, just like they did in the Coinbase case. Literally, this SEC charge is a rebranding of the Coinbase charge. The SEC doesn't want any money going into those alts, they want it going into Bitcoin, but not before they freak everybody out. All in the name of investor protection. Going forward, I would urge you to make sure that you know what your structural levels are inside the charts, and the majority of our people inside the CTKS community know how to draw those. It's through Level 1 and Level 2 standard certification of the CTKS method. It's a skill that you can learn and apply yourself. This is unquestionably the most important time that you need to apply your skills into the market. It can take a really large time commitment to do it properly in strict accordance with Level 1 and Level 2 standard certification. That's why the service is there. You can just pop the indicator on and you've got the best possible lines you could ever get. If you want to get X-ray vision into what the market's true structure and true resistance and support levels are, I would suggest you just even join up for a month inside the service and you will get these 27 TradingView indicators, one for each chart. X-ray vision is an important thing to have at this particular point in time. When you understand the structure of the chart that you're looking at, you'll know where smart money is seeking to buy and seeking to sell. It's very, very valuable. And it applies across all charts. One thing that you want to keep in mind, when you get into a structural support area, that's supposed to push the price up to the next structural resistance area. That's a very good rule to keep in mind. And if you lose a structural support area, that's supposed to push price down to the next structural support area. It's a very important thing. And if it bounces, it's coming up to the next resistance level. If it can't hold it, it's coming down to that support. If it can't hold it, it's going below. Always remember, price is always moving in a wave. We all have the option to look at a price chart like this or look at a price chart like this. The difference is this is X-ray vision. The difference here is that it's hard to just figure out where the support and resistance levels would be. And always remember, the CTKS method marks up all of price history, not just some small, non-statistically significant part of price history. It marks up all of it. When I look at a heat map like this, what I see is a structural support area underneath Bitcoin's price and a lack of structural support underneath Binance's price. You'll get a lot of fresh air gaps, and if you're dealing with a crypto that has significant fresh air gaps, you must be very, very careful. You will also see certain inverters, and these inverters tend to show up at different times in price history. For example, inverters tend to show up when price is going down. This is the role of an inverter. But when price goes up, they tank. Just bear that in mind as well. That's why it's utterly critical to know where the structural support and structural resistance levels are. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and Kate and I look forward to catching up with you again tomorrow. Bye for now.